The final update of beer sales in 2023 are exactly where you thought they would be. Beer sales plunged to lowest levels in 24 years. Are we talking the entire industry? Because that's really bad. That also says how big of a share Bud Light had and that they squandered away. For what? For what? Thanks to Bud Light's disastrous Dylan Mulvaney campaign. Beer sales in the United States are expected to plunge to their lowest level since 1990. Oh my God. Towers in New York were still standing at the time the beer level sales were this low, largely due to Bud Light's massive fall off after its disastrous tie-up with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney, industry experts said. Sales declined more than 5% for the first 9 months of the year, dragged down not only by the backlash and the boycotts against Anheuser Busch's owned Bud Light, but the changing habits of younger drinkers. Oh yeah, sure. That's what's going on. There's not enough beer drinkers that are out there. Everybody else is out there drinking right from the mule. Like, what are we doing? Bud Light sales have steadily declined each month by 25 to 30% since Mulvaney's now infamous post touting the brand on April 1st. April Fools, I killed your company, according to the industry data. Mulvaney fiasco unseated Bud Light as the #1 selling brand. What was that, all the way back in June? Yeah, it's been a second. While other beers grabbed some of Bud Light's market share with Constellation Brands, Modelo, unless we're talking international distribution, then it's under, oh, guess what? InBev's umbrella. So you lose, they win. And Molson Coors, yes, Coors Light and Miller Lite, seeing upticks, their growth did not make up for Anheuser Busch's declines. Here, in particular, AB is driving the decline in the industry. David Steinman, vice president and executive editor of the publication, told the Post. Yeah, that totally makes sense, man, because it was #1 with a bullet for a very long time and had a lion's share of the market until, well, it didn't. Anheuser-Busch owned brands, including Budweiser, Michelob Ultra, and Busch, have also been hurt by the boycotts. Budweiser specifically, Michelob for a second, I think that they basically leveled off, but Budweiser and Bud Light heavily impacted and represented 35% of all beer shipments to wholesalers in the United States. Wow. Meanwhile, Molson Coors and Constellation's growth accounted for just 30% of Anheuser-Busch's losses. Oof. So they were down 35%. And then just 30% of the losses were recouped by the rest of the industry. Not great. According to Steinman, the Bud Light's woes show little sign of abating despite a renewed marketing push. Yes, targeting its traditionally male audiences, including recent commercials featuring NFL legends Peyton Manning, Emmitt Smith, its tie-up with the UFC, Kid Rock out there stumping on Fox News for it. Like, yeah, everybody's trying to turn the other cheek, except for the customers, but I think that they matter the most. For the 4 weeks ending December 9th, Bud Light's retail store sales were down 28% compared to the same period about a year ago, according to the Wall Street Journal report, citing data from Nielsen, IQ, and Bump Williams Consulting. Overall beer sales have also been hit as millennials and Gen Zers ditch the brew for other alcohol-infused products like canned cocktails or simply drink less than previous generations. Okay, well, that's a W right there. Hopefully that trend continues. Because, yeah, if I'm to go ahead and find the silver lining in this message and fewer people drinking beer, well, it's probably a good thing in the grand scheme of things. But if they're just going to pivot to one of those fizzy drinks infused with vodka, oh, you're just, not doing yourselves any favors. Sales of craft beer, which emerged as a huge growth engine in the late 90s, yeah, damn millennials, have also been down for the past 4 years, according to Steinman. Interesting. This is an industry-wide 5-alarm fire, Craig Purser, president of National Beer Wholesalers Association, said in a speech to wholesalers at a convention in October, according to the Wall Street Journal report. Interesting, didn't hear anything about this. However, a Molson Coors spokesman said concerns about the beer industry were overblown. We're doing fine, don't know about the rest of it. Come on over and have a Coors Light. It's not so much a beer problem as it is a Bud Light problem. Yo, they're just continuing to throw dirt on the grave that Bud Light very much dug for itself, mostly because Dylan Mulvaney, I don't think, manual labor is in his lexicon. But what's going to happen with the rest of the industry, man? Like how are they going to be navigating the 2024 ocean? This time next year, are we going to be talking about Anheuser-Busch selling off more brands? Because they did a big sell-off all the way back in May or June, something like that. They sold off, a half dozen different brands? Are they going to be digging a little bit deeper into their repertoire, or are things going to turn around? How well is that UFC partnership ultimately going to work out for them? Because the name in the center of the octagon is going to flip over right here in a couple of days. And with how hard Dana White is pushing it, should have some knock-on effect, you would think. But the general meme out there, the zeitgeist, the beer drinkers, is that Bud Light is basically now might as well just go ahead and take that D and put a couple of T's on there, because it is Butt Light to a vast majority of people out there. That stigma is going to continue, and there's very little that they can do about that other than put enough time between what happened in April and what's going to happen in the future. Show a track record of success, of a commitment to your morals and to your principles. That's what Dana White was trying to extol, but there's only so much explicating that you can do. You're going to have to do some demonstrating at the end of the day. And what you ended up doing was demonstrating a sheer lack of respect for your customer base. But you did fire those people. You didn't offer an apology, and it's at this point way too late in order to do any of that stuff. So you're just simply going to have to do the work and hope that it pays off. Will it? Only time will tell. But there are, like Molson Coors, like Constellation Brands are finding out, there are gigantic gaps in the market. They're trying to fill them in as best as they can, but there is still wide open lanes on that drinking highway. Don't drink and drive, obviously. It's simply an analogy. So who's coming in? Who's coming in and trying to close those gaps? Well, we heard about them once, we'll hear about them again, and that would be Conservative Dad and his ultra-right beer. We seen the commercials where he took a direct shot. He sat on a tee, a can of Bud Light, and then hit it with a baseball bat in order to, market his very overpriced six-pack of beer, which, I don't know, maybe it's overpriced, maybe it isn't, don't really know about that. But in order to capitalize on the end of the year and realizing that, okay, beer drinkers are kind of anachronistic thinkers, so they're probably still likely to have old print calendars, okay? It's been a second since I had one. I used to have a little daily calendar that used to sit right behind me, but I've since put that well into the past. Everybody, it's like, okay, go ahead and harken back when Blizzard was somewhat of a respected company. One of their first big falters was, don't you guys have phones? So at least everybody's got a calendar on there, but you don't have pictures of real women of America on there. Unless, of course, you go on these chicks' social media platforms, and then they're more than willing to go ahead and extol conservative virtues while bending over and showing you how traditionally minded they are. TradThots make me sick. But for just a cool $25, which is a little steep for a calendar, not gonna lie, you can get the likenesses, such conservative beauties as Riley Gaines, which, go ahead and keep it a buck. That's not bad. There's a little bit more in the front that I'd be looking for, but, it's not that bad. Okay, and then you got this mid chick. Okay, I have no idea who that is. And then, okay, you got this one, which, okay, hey, at least she fills out a bikini. Hopefully that's not a guy, but okay, whatever. And then this chick in a one piece. Okay, fantastic. A little bit better, but a one piece in a swimsuit catalog? Whatever, man. And then you got, okay, yeah, Kim Klacik, right? Who her big break was her big viral campaign in 2020. She was going to run as a Republican in the heart of Baltimore, Maryland. Everybody wished her luck, and then she ended up getting 35% of the vote. So, yeah, that's something, okay? And oh boy, has she aged about 15 years in about 4 years. I wish her nothing but the best. And the fact that she took the fight directly to Candace Owens, she does get big props in my book. But if you're going to be doing like a swimsuit calendar, why are you in a dress? Okay, I know you have a previous profession. It's like, okay, don't you still have some of those old clothes? Like, what are we doing out here? Those aren't women. What are you doing? Okay, what are we doing out here? But here's some of the pictures that you can get. Peyton Drew, never heard of her. Riley Gaines, obviously. Kim Klacik, Brittany Jean, okay. Catalina Loff, okay, she's a congresswoman, right? Okay. Ashley St. Clair. Oh, that's why I didn't recognize her. She's insufferable. And Sarah Gonzalez, old. Dana Lash. Oh my God, when she's not too busy complaining about Trump behind everybody's block screens. Fantastic. Bethany Bartlett. Okay, that's about the first W that I've seen on here so far. Some old bag, and then another mid chick with a bad dye job. Okay, is this the best that the conservative movement can offer? Okay, 10% of sales will be donated to the Riley Gaines Center to protect women's sports. No. You invited those wolves in the door. You go ahead and fight their battles yourself, because that is another thing. It's probably something that we'll be talking about at the year-end big old wrap-up, just how hilarious the takeover of women's sports has been in 2023. Somebody who has actually been trying to stand up for their sport. Okay, you know, Riley Gaines has done a laudable job. This stuff right here, it does fill a gap, okay? Because for as insufferable as it comes across to me, it's just you got a bunch of woke extremism, woke. We got hot conservative women. Oh, it's not like those ugly feminists that are out there, even though they have the exact same thought process, but it fills a gap. Obviously, I'm sure that these things are probably selling extremely well. We know that ultra-right beer, back when it was first being marketed, was a gigantic success. And yeah, go and put a bunch of MAGA hat wearing 6s and 7s in a calendar. I'm sure it'll probably do well. It'll probably be the appropriate, or at least the tolerable pinup calendar for the guys that unironically chant happy wife, happy life, cheaper to keep her. They'll be able to capitulate to their 300-pound wife. Oh no, don't worry, I'm supporting a good anti-woke cause. Okay, that's a big market that's out there, okay, for all of those quote-unquote God-fearing men that just want to, stay in a committed relationship instead of, living in 2023, well, now moving into 2024. Just want to continue to stay firmly rooted in 1953. Are being drip fed thanks to their, year-long subscription to the Daily Wire. Yes, while I won't be purchasing it, it does have an audience and it serves them well. Good for them, okay? You got real women, real old women to pose for your calendar. For you, go get the bag. You did something better. It's definitely something that Budweiser can't claim. You employed at least a dozen real women on the air outside of extra work. Can Anheuser Busch claim the same? I don't think so. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. Watch the follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.